Greetings viewer, it is I, Later Scary, and today we have another sketchbook tour. I know it's been like half a year since I made the last one. I'll get into why that is at the very end. I just feel like it's kind of boring to explain all that stuff up front. Anyways, let's just hop right into it. You've waited long enough. So as you can see, this is my 11th sketchbook. I started it in February and ended it in May of the next year. So about like half a year. Wait, what? No. February, May of the same year. So yeah, about half a year. Let's get into it. So this one had a bit of a pocket in the front. I used to just write all my information down, wrote my address, which has obviously been redacted. I also started keeping, I think this is the first one where I kept the page you put behind the drawing whenever you're drawing so that it doesn't bleed through. However, my sister and her friend actually got a hold of this. Her friend was A, and of course this is my sister Flower Child. This was way back in the day, so like 3 years ago, I guess now. So they doodled all over it. They said A was here, Flower Child was here. Apparently A wrote, A is better than Flower Child. Don't start drawing. They drew little doodles. It's very cute stuff. I just like to keep it for the memories. See the first page. I think I said this last time, but this is the first like proper welcome page that I ever did. If you remember in the last one, I was just like barely getting into like actually sketchbooking and like sketchbooking as like a art form and less of just like a place that I drew stuff and more trying to make my pages look nice. And I was watching a bunch of sketchbook tours and that sort of thing, and they all had like this big welcome page. So in the last one I had a little doodle of me being like, hey, this is my new sketchbook. But this one I just went all out, like, and so I drew a little doodle of myself. I own this outfit and I was currently wearing it. I don't own the chair though, apparently. And then I drew Intelligence and Dysphonia because these two show up the most. That was a lie, but at the time they were my favorite OCs. I started it February 3rd, I finished it May 27th. Cute. Yeah, I spent a long time on that one. Guess I skipped a page and voila. This is the first, probably the only reference shoot that my OC abuse has. Well, her name is Addiction now. She is just living her best life. But her name is Addiction now because it's just too edgy. I wanted to have this OC that just had like cool emo hair and like punk outfit and a bunch of tattoos and piercings. So I drew out like this like drawing of all the tattoos that she would have. She'd have like some quotes, some earrings. I remember I was really proud of this face that I drew, and I was less proud of the outfit because oof. I think that I drew like Deduction and Puzzles and Curiosity all in the last sketchbook, but she's actually older than those characters. This is just the first time that I drew her, so she had existed for a while. This is just the first like colored illustration that I had of her. Skipping pages. Oof. This is the first and only time that I've ever done a meet the artist. I've seen a lot of people doing the meet the artist these days. I really want to do it, but I haven't gotten around to it. I drew myself, clearly. I hated this illustration when I drew it, and then I made a speed paint out of it, which you can find linked up there if you want to see how this turned out. Because back then I was still very new to digital art, so I felt like my art didn't look very good in digital whenever I sketched it. So a lot of times I would sketch something out traditionally and then just take a picture of it and finish it digitally. So gosh, this is old. This is right when I was getting into like musicals and stuff, so I got really into Hamilton and Heathers and Be More Chill. So I made a animatic to Lifeboat and it got like 2,000 views, and at the time that was just a ridiculous amount of views to me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going viral. So I promised everybody I would make a Freeze Your Brain animatic because Freeze Your Brain was my favorite song from the Heathers album at the time. So I started it on the computer, and then I wanted to thumbnail this section that I had in my brain. They're just very quick thumbnails, but I put it all together in like a work in progress video so you can actually see what this was kind of going for here.
Mom was alive, we lived halfway normal. Now it's just me and my dad, we're less formal. I learned to cook pasta, I learned to pay rent. Learned the world doesn't owe you a cent. You're planning your future, Veronica Sawyer. You'll go to some college and marry a lawyer, but the sky's gonna hurt when it falls. So you'd better start building some walls. Freeze your brain, swim in the ice, get lost in the pain. Forget who you are, unburden your load. You will get in 6 weeks, you'll be back on the road. And the voice in your head says you're better off dead, so don't be afraid. Just freeze your brain. Freeze your brain. Go on and freeze your brain. Try it.
But yeah, so it just looks really weird in this format, but never finished that. Here I was trying to practice some feet. Oof. I still don't really know how to draw feet, but I was like, I'm gonna learn how to actually draw stuff, so I'm gonna practice. I remember I really liked these feet, and I think these feet, but like, all of these were just like practicing. I'm glad that I did draw this though, because like, anytime that you like take a moment to practice and like use references, you get better at something. So like I just got a little bit better at drawing feet from here on, and I think a couple, yeah, literally in the next one. Here's my OC art. Oof, little bit of something over there. Guess I never finished that. I drew her feet. Art used to be one of my OCs. She used to be like a kind of important character, but she was mostly just a background character. So when I actually started the Overseers Amino and a lot of people were making Overseers OCs, a couple of people wanted to be the Overseer of Art. And at first I was like, no, she's already an important character. But then I was like, I have so many Overseers that I just do literally nothing with that, like, heck, okay, fine, you can have the Overseer of Art. I'm not doing anything with her character. All of that stuff is no longer canon anyways. So this was art, but she's no longer canon. I think that there's some really epic Overseers of Art on the Omino right now that you can check out though. Oof. I need to stop saying oof in reaction to all of these. So this was, I wanted to make a comic. It was gonna be called Coin. I guess this is where I got the name Thea from. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know where I got her name Thea from, but this is my first OC named Thea, and I'm pretty sure I just stole her name and gave it to somebody else. Yes, by the way, this is a girl. She's very skinny, but she's a girl. This was also when I was like trying to experiment more with my cartoon style. So this is me like practicing like her colors and how she's drawn. Her face was a circle. I do think that this page is very interesting, like layout wise. I really like just that where like it's just like a bunch of little sketches. I think it definitely looks interesting, but I think I like her side character better. So this is the other main character in this story. Don't ask me what the plot was, I don't remember. His name was Klaus. So his face was an oval and he had a coin in his eyes, and that's why the comic was called Coin. I just think that he's just really adorable and very angsty. I think that the two of them were like siblings or something. It's one of those things where they didn't know each other were siblings and then they reunited one day and then it was like, oh my gosh, we're siblings. But that's like the extent of what I remember from the story. Yeah, so oof. I gotta stop saying oof. This is some vent art of abuse, or aka addiction. I don't know why I was just like not feeling it that day, so I like did this big scribbly thing and was like, I can feel myself going insane. Like, cause abuse's story, or sorry, I need to stop saying abuse. Addiction's story is like real edgy. So she's one of the rogues in the story, a rogue overseer, and the reason that she went rogue is very important to the story, so I can't tell you. But yeah, she's going through some stuff. Ooh, this is a page that was not preserved well. So here we have just a bunch of like pencil sketches, I guess. I remember I was really proud of this page when I first did it. I just like sat down and just started doodling. And like I really just went off and like really went into detail of like all these like individual things that are happening. I need to sharpen this pencil. New pencil! I have an image of what that page looked like before it got all smudged because of both of these pages going up, and you can see that here. It looked a lot cooler before. Anyways, moving on to this. Here we have Deduction and Intelligence, who are both my smart, edgy boys. You need to stop. So here we have Deduction and Intelligence, just being edgy boys together. And it says, you and I, we really aren't that different, you know? I don't know what was going through my head at this point in time. Edgy boys, I guess. Oh, hey, Infinity Train. Somebody wrote Tulip down here, I guess. Just a quick sketch. I don't think there's really any other way to put it, guys. Oof. Yeah, that's the puzzles. So I just wanted to draw puzzles and I drew this and I was like, I hate everything about it. It's kind of hard to see, but I actually used like a metallic marker. Her hair like shines in the light. I used to do this all the time whenever I drew puzzles and deductions. I think that I just didn't have a gray marker and they were supposed to have gray hair, so I just like colored it with the closest thing I had to gray, which was the silver one. It looks cool, but like I said in the last video, it just makes no sense for their characters. I didn't have a pencil, so I just was like, I'm gonna draw this, and I didn't finish it. I was gonna color the whole hair. For some reason, I did the highlights or lowlights first. I don't know. This isn't normally how I did it. I don't know what was going on here. Oh no. And now we come to the first of many very, very cringy comics. So for a bit of backstory, this story used to be that Intelligence went rogue and like left knowledge behind, and he did a bunch of stuff, and then eventually he became a teacher, and Deduction and Puzzles were overseers that went to the human world with curiosity and stuff, and they actually ended up taking classes from Intelligence. They didn't know he was an overseer. Anyway, so then years later, Puzzles and Deduction return to the overseer world, obviously, and Intelligence comes back. Going to the human world is punishable by death, so to get out of that, he pretends that he's already died and just regenerated on Earth and had no idea about the rules, and since Knowledge is like the head of the court, she had some sway, and so he wasn't killed, but all of that rests on the fact that he doesn't remember all of that stuff. So with that in mind, that flaming Cheeto is Knowledge, and she's like yelling at Intelligence for whatever reason. So Deduction goes, he's lying, and Puzzles goes, yeah, but we don't have enough proof. I do. He told me. You know, I used to have a twin sister. The look in his eye, it was like he was really talking about someone he hadn't seen in 2,000 years. Continuing on. Later. Slips in. Oh, it's you! I hate this. Why did you lie to them? Ka-ching! It's time to stop. I'm afraid I don't know what you mean. Oh, you could drop the act already. You're a much crueler man than I thought. No matter how I've seen, I'd never pretend to not know my own twin sister. That was like the whole deal with them. Intelligence and Knowledge's twinship was kind of paralleled by Deduction and Puzzle's twinship. It's still kind of there, but it's mostly just, I don't know, I feel like I don't emphasize it as much as I used to. Starting to remember now? And don't try to say the family who raised you had a daughter. I checked the records. And even then, twin sister is very specific. Ugh, I must have been drunk. What a stupid mistake. Alright, you caught me. I didn't die and regenerate. What do you want? There's no need to buy my silence. I won't tell. I hate everything about this page. That's why I stopped drawing it. Why? Their personalities have literally flipped. Like, it's literally the exact opposite. You know, I haven't seen Ma Knowledge this happy in a long time. It's actually very refreshing. Wahaha. Nani? Ma Knowledge? Ha 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 ha. Goodness, you really call her that? Sounds so old. Ha 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 ha. It's not that funny. I failed to see the humor. Ha ha ha. And then I stopped because that was awful. Wow, it's Dysphonia and she actually looks like a human person. She looks sassy. I loved this drawing so much that I had it as my phone background for a while because I was like, this is what Dysphonia looks like. I've finally drawn her. But I really like the way that I drew her eyes and like her earring. It just looks really cute, you know? It's Dysphonia. She's sassy. She's cute. Anyway, this is more of like me like breaking into the YouTube scene. So I wanted to, I don't know if like something big in the Rick and Morty fandom just went down, but I wanted to draw Evil Morty. So I sketched it out traditionally, and then you can see the speed paint for what it eventually turned into up there. Not really much to say. I just wanted to make a cool speed paint. This is when I first watched Panty and Stocking. I don't remember what this character's name is, but he was my favorite, and I was like, I'm gonna draw him in the Panty and Stocking style. And I hated how it turned out because the marker I used was so patchy, but it actually got featured on Amino, so I was like, yay, it's good art. I actually don't think it looks that terrible, like if you just smooth out his skin. Another blank page. My cousin had just given me some Prismacolors for the first time. I've said it before, colored pencils really aren't my medium. I feel like I could get used to them, but I don't know. I feel like I just can't make them work for me. I really wanted to draw Lapis looking super cool, so I drew this, and this is supposed to be like water, but it just looks weird. I feel like if you just take out that part looks cool. There's just all these like little dots. I don't know how to blend it. A page of sketches. We got ourselves a sad puzzles. Me too, hun. Some feet, some random stuff, an actual drawing of Curiosity with some wacky powers. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, baby Intelligence, older Intelligence. I think I was trying to figure out what his eye symbol should be, and I was like, it's like a light bulb, and it's white when he's older and black when he's younger because baby. Baby is so innocent. But I also kind of thought that it looked like a chess piece. It can be either a light bulb or a chess piece. I didn't end up going with this. I wanted to draw puzzles, didn't like the sketch, so I tried it over again here. And this is another sketch that I did for a digital piece, so you can see the, if I have enough spaces in the eye icon, you might be able to see it in the eye icon up there. If not, all of the things will be linked in the description. I saw this drawing of like Lance from Voltron, but he had like blue glowing dots all over his body, and I was like, that. But yeah, so I really resented it for a while, but I'm kind of over it, and I'm just like, this is a cool piece that I did once, but I really like my art with more substance. Like, for instance, This is actually my OC Insanity. It might be Madness, who is Obsession and aka Passion. I'm just gonna call it Obsession for now. I was really getting into neon gore at this time, so I wanted to do something like wacky and draw them with like purple skin and orange blood and green bones and that sort of thing. I actually really like how this turned out. Like, I feel like all the pieces together look very interesting. I kind of want to redraw it because obviously I've gotten a lot better at drawing, but I just think that like there's something wacky. There's like a wacky energy about this that I just really liked. I was listening to Crazy Equals Genius throughout the entire drawing process for this. This is a really old drawing of Control and Death. I always am like, I'm gonna draw Control and Death, and then I don't. So I drew Death here, and then I was gonna draw Control, but I got really bored halfway through and just drew this like weird lumpy thing, and then I was like, he looks like he's saying something to her, so I said, calm yourself, and then just, I gave up. Ooh, see, this is why you always practice drawing feet, even if, or whatever you're bad at drawing, because randomly I'm just like, I want to draw this picture from the song, like, Aishite, 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 moto, moto. I don't know what key that's in. Anyways, so I was like, feet, they're walking on blood, and it says Aishite. So I drew it, and I think this looks really cool. I think that the feet are really close to, you know what, I'm not gonna critique it. I just think it looked cool. Another page is just random doodles. That looks like Luck's outfit, but it doesn't have her curls, so I don't know if these were any characters or anything. Oof. The plan for this was going to be that I was going to draw Dysphonia, Paradox, and Lucid. I spent so long on drawing Dysphonia, like really perfecting her, and then I drew Paradox, and then I was going to draw Lucid. I'm just like, I'm so tired, so I just drew a little doodle of that. I do think Dysphonia and Paradox look really cool here. I was really proud of Dysphonia's face in particular. I didn't really love the foreshortening on her feet, or how Paradox is just kind of like floating, but I think that Lucid just being like blep just makes the drawing so much cuter. Oh my gosh, I was getting into that group, Evelyn? No, I think it's just one. The twins that aren't actually, they're like playing as conjoined twins, and they sing that song that's like, Evelyn, Evelyn. I wanted to draw them because I thought they were cool, and also I was working on like this idea to do Evelyn to Knowledge and Intelligence, but that never came through. So I just drew them, and it got featured on Amino, and I was like, yay! I got so happy whenever my stuff got featured on Drawing Amino. I'm not talking about this hand because it's gross. I had this idea for this, like a webisode, I guess. I should have pitched this story for my webisode instead of an Indigo and then just ruining my vision of a perfect innocent story about homeschoolers with overseer magic thrown into it. So basically the concept, there was these 4 girls and they were in this club, and every episode they would come up with a new acronym for the club, but the acronym would always be CULT. So they would be like the Cannibals United Loyal People, or like something just completely out there, but it would always spell out CULT. And then at the end of the episode they would die, and then the next episode like the whole thing would happen over again. So it was like this wild, like, why do they keep dying, what's the whole thing about the cult and all that sort of stuff. So we have the boss, who's very confident and mean, basically Heather. She was red. Pink girl, cheerful, idiotic, naive, actually the smartest, shh, it's a secret. Blue girl was gloomy, goth as heck, servant to the Dark Lord. Purple was bookworm, isn't sure why she was invited to the club, main character-ish, and smart. Eventually she figures out that they're in a time loop. She thinks that it's like Blue's fault, but then it turns out that Pink is the murderer all along. I don't really remember. I just remember thinking, time loop, fun girls. That's my aesthetic. Moving on. This is from that song, A Sadness Runs Through Him, that goes like, people are puppets all together with string. I showed this to my little sisters, and Etod was like, are they soulmates? And I was like, what? No, what the heck? And she was like, well, you know, because of the Japanese red string thing. But this is actually supposed to be like the string of fate. So the idea was that like intelligence and deduction were like foils of each other, but like their fate was always like tied together. They weren't soulmates though. Please don't. No, stop. Okay, so at this point I was actually working on an Avatar fanfiction. It was called Sue Generous, and this is the main character. I think her name is Tai or something. But the idea was that she was a metal bender in whatever the big city in Korra is called. There was this arsonist serial killer that she had to track down. But in the meantime, she just happened to randomly start dating this random firebender who's totally innocent. And of course, in the end, it turns out that the firebender she was dating is actually the person that she had to kill. Yay. I was in the Night in the Woods at the time here. You can tell because I had like 2 or 3 speed paints about Night in the Woods on my channel. Just a random drawing of May, I guess. My sibling and I wanted to play off together in like a playthrough on YouTube. I think we actually uploaded a few episodes. If I can drag that up and get their permission, I might put a link in the description. I wanted to draw us as the main characters for the thumbnail, but in the end, I just hated this drawing with a passion for some reason. And I didn't, but I think it looks cute. This is kind of awkward in retrospect. So this is Infinity, who I made that video about, like, when edginess is problematic. Probably one of my most controversial videos on here. I really want to go back and explain myself in that video, because I wasn't trying to say that you can't write edgy stuff, or like you can't write edgy things just to be edgy. I was trying to talk about the unfortunate implications of things like that. So like in the story, the way that it was framed, even though the abuse was framed as a bad thing, it ultimately ended up being a good thing. Like, passion being abused was kind of the best thing that ever happened to Infinity's life, and that was what was making me feel very uncomfortable. This is Infinity and Dreamer when they were younger and not terrible people. I really liked this drawing whenever I made it. I thought it looked very cute, and I was like, wow, I drew a background. I liked Dreamer's whole body because I actually drew it. Not really their personalities anymore. Look, I drew trash in the background, like, and I drew a vase. Dang, I was like so into this. I didn't finish it though. So this is my OC Penelope. She's no longer really a character, but it used to be that Desponia had a little sister and she got trapped in this dream world and Lucid ended up coming to save her. But the real reason that I really love this is because I submitted her to Jenna Drawings' Draw My OC contest, which I was obsessed with at the time. And Jenna actually chose to draw her, so you can actually go watch her video of her drawing Penelope, because obviously this is my sketch that I turned into a digital drawing that I made into a speed paint that if I have enough eye icons you can see up there. Sorry, I had to get all that out before sneeze. I think it's a really cute story, but it doesn't really fit in anymore. There's like no reason for it, so Penelope's just no longer a character, sadly. I don't even want to adjust the camera for this. I just wanted to draw something, so I just drew a person. Kind of cute. So originally, I actually wanted to draw my own cover for Sui Generis. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Latin name. This was me trying to do that. I really liked how the main character, Ty, turned out. And her boyfriend was coming out pretty good, but then her partner over here just, nope. And then this was supposed to be like the firebender in the background. It just didn't turn out. I guess there was supposed to be 2 more people. In the end, I ended up commissioning somewhere, and I think it's Marrow Kid. I really like their art style. Yeah, I can put it right there. See? More event art. I think this was supposed to be like about Art, the OC. I don't remember really what was going on here, but she's like, don't worry, I'll be there for you, while she's building a wall to keep the person out. I don't remember. Another unfinished project, that song, All the King's Horses and All the King's Men by Carmina, I think. I wanted to make like a PV to Night in the Woods for it. I think I finished part of it. These were the sketches that I turned into digital stuff. And of course, I never finished it. I never even finished sketching it out, but yeah. This is back to Sui Generis, her boyfriend and her looking really weird. I was like, it's like the future, right? So let's make it like the 90s. So I tried to draw them. I still didn't have any good skin color markers though, so just... no, it's bad. Don't know who these people were. I guess I never finished it. Yeah, Tai Jinsu, that's her name. So this is me drawing more reference art for her. She was supposed to be like a cross between like the Meadow Benders and a detective. Oh, okay. This is back in me being in the art rooms, doing a bunch of art trades with people so they would draw my OCs. This is Caroline, who apparently was Radical Carol's OC. Let's zoom in on her. This is Kia Angel. I remember this person because they were telling me about their OC, and they were like, Kia thinks that video games are stupid, but she really likes Pokemon. So I drew her being like, video games are stupid, playing Pokemon. Adira, Catgirl03's OC. Tim, who is Toothpicks OC. I don't know if these people still have the same username, but you know, credit where credit's due. Probably just getting them to draw more deduction fan art for me. I don't really remember though, to be fair. Also, I have a proper camera now, yay. Shout out to Mom for buying it for me for Christmas. Oh gosh, I did this dumb thing where I made it wasn't a dumb thing, it was a fun thing where I made a Infinity Train AU where Tulip was super edgy and I drew her and I made a drawing of it. It looks like that. So, cute little drawing. I don't know why I just started drawing like a bunch of random people that weren't my OCs. This is not anybody. It's just a random girl with a lake behind her. I don't even know if you can see this. I feel like I have nothing to say about these random, oh gosh. Ugh. Can we go back to the random drawings, please? So this is another very cringy comic. Oh, luckily for me, I wrote it all in YZ, so let me just show you what it looks like. You can look at the pretty pictures and try to figure out the story for yourself. Her hand is backwards. Oof. I remember I was really proud of this last panel. See, here's the thing. The reason that I cringe so much at my old comics is I would always go from like 0 to 100 without much explanation. That is an adorable nose though, not gonna lie. So like, this is a really chill thing. And I feel like in order to get up to the like intense emotion that is displayed here, you need to have like a lot of pretenses. And I just didn't. I had like zero subtlety in any of my writing, and that's why it makes me cringe. There's nothing wrong with drawing this. Let me be very clear. If this is what your comics look for, freaking go for it. Like, I just personally, I'm like, I wish that I had built up to it more. Also, I didn't know that he used to have freckles. That is a really adorable obsession, though. Anyways, I closed out the sketchbook with a little bit of a self-portrait. This is what I thought I looked like. I showed this to my siblings, and they actually said that that does look like me, so who knows? Y'all be the judge of it. I really like the hand that I drew here, though. You can tell that I actually used a reference to that. I think that the eyes are really cool, though, but they're just really big. At least I got my very thin lips right. And that is it. That's my 11th sketchbook in its full team. And I'm really excited to get back on the sketchbooking train. For those of you that do want to know, basically, I actually filmed this entire sketchbook tour half a year ago, back on the 4th of July. I filmed it with my two little sisters, Flower Child and Eton, but the entire recording, the camera was off, and like, it was just really bad because I didn't really like prep them at all for it. So I kept on like asking them like, do you know what OC this is? And they would be like, no. And then you couldn't understand them at all. Like, the audio was terrible. Anyways, there's just a lot of problems with it. They were adorable and sweet, and I love going back and watching parts of it. Maybe I'll like show a couple of clips.
What's the difference between intelligence and deduction?
They have different names.
Do I look like a person who draws feet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my gosh, wait, this is your art. Are you sure? Wait, who is this?
This is intelligence.
You can't draw better than that.
Yeah, I should just give up on my head.
Yeah.
We recorded for like 2 or 3 hours, and I could only really edit it down to like an hour of footage, so it had to be like 2 30-minute parts, and I'm just like, I can't. There are just too many things that stressed me out about the video, because I was gonna have to like subtitle it, I was gonna have to refilm the whole thing. So my little sisters were amazing, they were hilarious, and I really want to do a sketchbook tour with them one day, but unfortunately that is not gonna be this sketchbook tour, so I eventually just had to suck it up and refilm the whole thing. So if I sounded a little bit less enthusiastic, it is because I saw all of these drawings 6 months ago, and I'm just like being like, I wish that you could see my little sister's reaction to this. Anyways, so, but shout out to my girls, Flower Child and Todd. You can check out their channels in the description below. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!